To start with, let me say a few words about my own background. I am Rosemary Anggut. I am currently taking up business administration, major in financial management, and I am also currently employed at Chrisland Commercial Corporation. It's been 10 years since I was started working, and I am also a mother of three. So as you can see on our screen, our topic for today is about corporate governance and the role of directors. So corporate governance, it is a system of rules, practices, and processes. Why is corporate governance important? Corporate governance is important because it creates a system of rules and practices that determines how a company operates and how it aligns with the interests of all its stakeholders. Corporate governance leads to ethical business practices and financial viability, in turn that can attract investors. The board of directors is the primary direct stakeholder influencing corporate governance. They are also elected by shareholders or appointed by other board members. They represent shareholders of the company. The principles of corporate governance. Fairness. The board of directors must treat shareholders, employees, vendors, and communities fairly and with equal consideration. Transparency. The board should provide timely, accurate, and clear information about such things as financial performance, conflicts of interest, and risks to shareholders and other stakeholders. Risk management. The board and management must determine risk of all kinds and how best to control them. They must act on those recommendations to manage them. They must inform all relevant parties about the existence and status of risk. Responsibility. The board is responsible for the oversight of corporate matters and management activities. It must be aware of and support the successful ongoing performance of the company. Part of its responsibility is to recruit and hire CEO. It must act in the best interest of a company and its investors. The last one is accountability. It and a company leadership are accountable for the assessment of a company capacity, potential, and performance. It must communicate issues of importance to shareholders. Corporate governance models. The Anglo-American model, the Continental model, and the Japanese model. Shareholder model, stewardship model, political model are the inclusions of the Anglo-American model. Supervisory board, management board are the inclusions of the Continental model. The Japanese model, the key player in the Japanese model of corporate governance are the banks, affiliated entities, major shareholders, who may be invested in common companies or have trading relationships, the management, and the government. Investor relations is a division of a business whose job is to provide investors with an accurate account of company affairs. What are the four P's of corporate governance? They are the people, the process, the performance, and the purpose. Good corporate governance. Disclosure practices, executive compensation structure, whether it's tied only to performance or also to other metrics. Risk management, the checks and balances on decision makings, policies and procedures for reconciling conflicts of interest, how the company approaches business decisions that might conflict with its mission statement. The members of the board of the directors, their stake in profits or conflicting interests. Contractual and social obligations. It's how a company approaches area such as climate change. Relationships with vendors. Complaints received from shareholders and how they were addressed, and audits, the frequency of internal and external audits, and how issues have been handled. Bad governance practices includes companies that do not cooperate sufficiently with auditors or do not select auditors with the appropriate scale, resulting in the publication of spurious or non-compliant financial documents. Bad executive compensation packages that fail to create an optimal incentive for corporate officers. Poorly structured boards that make it too difficult for shareholders to oust an effective incumbents. The bottom line of corporate governance consists of the guiding principles that a company puts in place to direct all of its operations, from compensations, risk management, and employee treatment to reporting unfair practices, dealing with the impact of the climate, and more. Corporate governance that calls for upstanding transparency company behavior leads a company to make ethical decisions that benefit all of its stakeholders. It can underscore a potential investment for investors. Bad corporate governance leads to a breakdown of a company, often resulting in scandal and bankruptcy. That is all for lecture 2, corporate governance. And if you like to have a copy of the PPT or uh, PowerPoint presentation, it will be available in our official Financial 101 group chat. And also, it is the link will be posted in our Google Classroom. Uh, and that is all for today. And thank you so much for listening, and God bless us.